Hello and welcome in. Today we'll be showing you how to use Power BI Report Builder. So let's jump right into it. You can see we have a blank Power BI report. Now, the first thing that we want to do is we're going to use Power Query to transform, clean, and load the data. So I'm going to go to Data Sources. I'm going to right-click the folder for Data Sources, and I'm going to choose Get Data. And this is going to open up where I can select the data source. I'm going to choose an Excel workbook. I'm going to upload a file. I'm going to choose the Excel workbook, press open. You see that it's uploading. Next. I'm going to select the worksheet. There's our data. I'm going to press transform data. So this is where we can transform our data in Power Query. So you can see our data looks pretty clean. If I wanted to combine the last name and first name, I can create a column here. Go to Add Column. Custom column. Let's call this full name. So we said first name and last name. So I'm going to select first name. Put a space in between the first name and the last name with the ampersand. Last name. Hit OK. And now we have the full name. So let's just go ahead and send this to Power Query or to Power BI Report Builder. I'm going to rename this and call it Employee Data and hit Create. The data set Employee Data was created successfully. I'm going to hit OK. You can see in the data sources, it brought in our Power Query data. And now we have our data sets already here. All right, so tip number 2 is we're going to sort the data by a specific column. First, I'm going to create a table from the data set. So to do that, I'm going to go to the Insert tab, go to Table. I'm going to use the wizard, select the data set, hit Next, select all the fields, put them in the Value section, hit Next, Next, finish. Adjust the width of each of the columns. City, state, zip code. All right. Now we're going to sort. So I'm going to click on the table. You see where the three lines right here are? Right click it and go to group properties, row group properties. Click on sorting. We're going to add a sort, and we're going to sort by the last name. Press OK. So let's see what this looks like. You can see our data is sorted by the employee's last name, all the way down, starting from A. Now let me adjust the columns, so the column header so that it's centered. I'll select each one and go to center alignment. Now let's see what that looks like. All right, that looks much better. All right, so the next tip we're going to do is we're going to use parameters for dynamic reports. So I can create a parameter by right-clicking the parameters folder, choose Add Parameter. So I want a parameter on the state column. So I'm going to call this parameter state parameter. Okay? Now this prompt is basically what the user is going to see when they run the parameter. So I want the parameter prompt to say, select the state. I'm going to hit OK. Well, before I do that, I have to have the available values. So I can specify values. Now, if you specify values, you have to put in, each state at a time. So let's get values from a query. So I'm going to hit OK for right now. And let's create another data set. I'm going to use that same data set that we used before, but I'm just going to get a list of the states. Transform data. So this time, I'm going to go to choose columns, and just select the state column. We can sort this if we want. I'm going to call this data set state. Hit create. Oh, one thing I forgot to do is remove the duplicates. Let's see if I can change it here. Probably not. Let me go back and fix that. So I'm going to add data. Get data. Excel workbook. Choose the file. Next. Choose the worksheet. Transform data. Change the query name to sheet or state. And I'm going to go to choose columns. Choose columns. Only select the state column. Sort ascending. And remove the duplicates. And hit create. So now we have a list of unique states. So we can go back to our parameter by right-clicking it, parameter properties. In our available values, we're going to choose this third option that says get values from a query. When we do that, it's going to ask for a data set. And we just select the state data set. Hit OK. So now let's test our parameter. I'm going to run the report. It's asking me to select a state. So I'm going to choose FL for Florida and view the report. One other thing I forgot to do is we need to filter based on the parameter. So let's go to the employee data set properties, filters. We're going to add a filter on the state field. Let's go to the expression builder, go to parameters, and choose state parameter. Double click it. Hit OK. Now let's test our parameter. Choose Florida. It should filter our data, and it does, to the employees that work in Florida. But choose another state. Just choose North Carolina. And then we have one employee that works in North Carolina. All right, so the next tip is to use dynamic tiles with parameters. So what is a dynamic tile? I'm going to insert a text box. Let's put it right here. And I'm going to choose expression. So I selected the text box, right-clicked it, and now I'm going to choose expression. And we're going to go to our parameter that we created for the state, double-click it to get the expression. So it should show the parameter that was selected when we run the report in our title. Let me center it. So let's run the report now. I'm going to choose a state. Let's try Minnesota. View the report. Shows MN, which is the abbreviation for Minnesota, with the 3 employees that work in Minnesota. I use ChatGPT. That's why you see, there's the same employee twice to get this data. Well, I hope you enjoyed the content. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. Please like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.